Right guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another week of fantasy football. Last week didn't go so great. I don't think it was a great week for anyone. My transfers didn't quite work out. But before we get onto that, let's take a quick look at my league. So as I mentioned, if you still want to jump into my league, you can. You can see a list of people there who have joined. You will be a few weeks behind on the points, but we still have a whole season to go. And as soon as you jump in, the more chance you've got of catching up. But if we take a look at the top of the league, we have a new leader, Brazilians. Now, he was actually second last week, so he has now topped the charts in first place. If we take a quick look at his team, you had Mitrovic in there with 16 points, Alonso with 11, Salah bringing in 16 points as his captain, Robertson with 9, so a handful of players there who did really well this week, and then you've got players like Richarlison, Aguero, Mendy, who have all done so well in the first couple of weeks, didn't rack up the points in game week 3. If we take a look at second place, Nefart, now he got 80 points this week. Obviously Chicken Caesar Salah is also in second place with 58 points. But if we take a look at this team to see where those 80 points came from, he actually played the triple captain. He went with Salah, triple captain, picking up 24 points. Trippier with 11, Robertson with 9, Alonso with 11. Similar players like Mendy, Richarlison, Aguero, again, not pulling in the points. But yeah, 80 points there. Very, very decent. So as I mentioned, the average points was way down this week. It was 50 points. Richarlison was actually the most transferred in player for game week 3, with me included. And he's also now the most transferred out player after picking up a red card and will be missing 3 games. One of them is actually a cup game, but he's still going to miss the next 2 Premier League games for Everton. Just before we take a look at my team, I forgot to mention I am now 706th in my league. So I'm pretty much around where I started. I think in the last 3 weeks I've lost about 80 places. So I am moving down slowly, but at least I'm kind of hovering around as stable points coming in week by week, which is why I need to hit a good week and make my move up the league. So if we take a look at my team, Foster with 2 points, Daniels with 1 point, Shedrick with 1 point, so not the greatest defensive display this week. Mendy with 4 points, he was one of the players I brought in last week. Now, he got 4 points, so although he didn't keep a clean sheet against Wolves, he did still get 2 bonus points, which is very decent. So 4 points, not quite the clean sheet, but 4 points is still alright. And as I mentioned already, Man City have a really good run of games. They now go Newcastle, Fulham, Cardiff, Brighton. So although he didn't have his greatest week, I'm hoping this week, well, I mean, I'm a Newcastle fan. I'm not really hoping it, but as for fantasy football, yeah. Mendy has been getting a lot of points, and he could very easily do it again this week. As for midfield, as I mentioned, I brought in Richarlison, who got -2. You just can't make it up. I put him in and he gets -2. It's just so annoying. Ericsson with 6, Salah with 8, Wilshere with 1. I mentioned this last week. I was giving Wilshere his final shot before I take him out my team, so he's going to be one of the key players I'm looking to remove, even though I also now want to get Richarlison out because he got a red card. So that has brought a bit of a difficult decision there. Firmino with 5. He got an assist, so he has brought in more than just an appearance points. But again, it's not quite what I want. Aguero with 4. Very annoying. I put him as captain. I should have had Salah. But, you know, he scored a hat-trick last week. And it made sense to keep him as captain. And then Mitro was 16. So thankfully someone brought in a hefty amount of points for me to make up for what, to be honest, wasn't a great team display. As for transfers to my team, I will definitely be taking out Richarlison. He's banned. So A, he's missing games, and B, if everyone else is taking him out of their team, he may lose value. So I want to try and get him out ASAP. The options are Mora from Tottenham. Obviously, if he continues playing as the second striker to Harry Kane, I think he's definitely one to look for. And second up is Walcott. As I said, he's the most transferred player in. he's getting the goals. They're playing Huddersfield this weekend, and then they go to West Ham this weekend. So 2 teams who have been struggling, or Everton's next 2 games. And moving on to our best mate, Jack Wilshere. As I said, I've been wanting to get him out, and if Richarlison had just not got himself sent off, this would have been a much easier transfer to make. Now, I do want to remove him, but it will be a -4 points. And although I did mention Mora is an option, what I'm planning on doing is putting Pedro in from Chelsea, taking on Bournemouth this weekend. Obviously, Chelsea have been bringing in the goals. Pedro has been starting all of the games so far. And then I'm going to look next week, if Eriksen doesn't step it up, taking him out and putting Mora in instead. Now, the alternative option could have been putting in Mora now, alongside perhaps Pereira from Watford. Watford have been on a great run. Pereira has been racking in the points. But Watford actually play Spurs this weekend, and then they go to Man U next weekend. So it's 2 tough games for Watford and Pereira, which is why I'm not overly keen on putting him in my team right now. So that is what I'm going to go for. It might have been worth waiting to not lose the 4 points on Jack Wilshere. And knowing me, again, he's probably going to go and get himself a hat-trick this weekend, and I'll regret that as well. But as I said, I haven't done amazing so far. I need to take some strides, hopefully in the right direction. And I'm hoping this is going to work out. To be honest, again, I'm plagued horribly by the whole wild card scenario, because I also have players like Firmino who haven't stepped it up. Eriksen is yet to do anything, and my defence could definitely do with a rejig. So I'm going to go for this week. And if it doesn't pay off, it's wildcard next week, and I'm going to prepare it all. I'm going to spend all week doing it, ready for next week's video. So that is how my starting 11 is looking right now. Fabianski comes in for Foster as West Ham take on Wolves. Mendy against Newcastle. Wan-Bissaka at Crystal Palace is back from his ban, taking on Southampton. And I also have Shedrick from Southampton at Crystal Palace. So fingers crossed, Crystal Palace, Southampton get a 0-0 draw. My new midfield, Salah, obviously I'm happy with. Eriksen needs to get his assist boots on, or scoring boots on. Walcott, hoping to bring in the points at Huddersfield, and like I mentioned, Pedro at Bournemouth, there's a good chance he could get some points there. Fingers crossed Mitro can rack in the points again. Aguero will be my captain this week, taking on Newcastle, so who knows what's going to happen there. And again, Firmino, he needs to step it up, and like I said, players like Firmino, Eriksen, even Pedro and Walcott, if they don't perform this week, I'm looking at the wild card. Alright guys, so like I said, I hope you have enjoyed the video. Maybe I've been some mild help to your teams, and if you haven't joined the league, make sure to jump in. But as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.